Hey, welcome back to Crimes and Closets. This is Christy in my closet in St. Louis.
And this is Beth in my closet in North Carolina.
Good morning. Happy Monday, Beth.
Happy Monday to you. How's it going?
Oh, it's just fine. We just got back from our Disney cruise, which was fantastic.
It is funny that it was a Disney cruise, though.
I know, but we've heard, if you talk to anybody about it, people talk, rave. There's people on that ship, not just on that ship, on the trip with us, because this was a work trip for my hubby, who have gone on this trip 6 times.
And love it.
Picked that trip 6 times.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
I actually, too, have heard that, I guess it depends on what kind of Disney experience you're wanting. If you want to ride rides, obviously a cruise is not the experience for you. But the cruises are better than going to Disney.
Oh, heck yeah, because it's Disney characters are there and things are Disney themed, but you're not waiting in long lines to go on rides or anything like that.
Right.
Yeah. So,
but some people go to Disney for the rides.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
I went to Disney so much as a teen for school. We used to go every single year. And I don't get it. I've never taken my kid. Well, no, my oldest son has been when he was little, but I've never taken my kids to Disney. And honestly, I'll ask them, do you guys want to go to Disney? And they're like, not really.
Yeah.
We'd rather go to Six Flags.
Right. Yeah.
And for the money, I'm like, if you aren't so into it, I'm not doing it.
It's over $100 now. I want to say it's close
to get in the parks.
Yes.
Oh, people go and spend $8,000 to $10,000.
Oh, I know.
I just don't get it.
Yeah. Well, we did we did Disney a couple years ago. My parents took us.
Yes.
All. And they spent a good amount of money on that trip.
Yeah.
I mean, it was our hotel, it was our food because they got food packages and stuff so it was a lot of stuff that was included. But it's quite I'd rather spend $10,000 and go on
Australia.
Yeah, or a Mediterranean cruise or something
right.
That's what we did a couple years ago. So anyway, but it was fantastic. The kids had fun. I legitimately only saw them at dinner.
Yeah.
And
no one got thrown overboard or disappeared, which was my fear. The whole entire time I had anxiety. I couldn't talk to her regularly. And so I was like, is she alive? Is she not alive? Is someone missing? I don't even know.
Yeah. Nope. Nobody went missing.
I was worried the whole time for all of you.
All good. And the oldest, who was the one that was annoyed that we were going on this cruise to begin with, basically was we were would you go on this again? He's like, yes.
Nice. Oh, I'm so glad. And we have a big week here too in the closet. It is our 3-year podiversary. Cannot believe it. Can you come on?
No.
It's funny to think back when we first started and we were like, it's going to fizzle out. We're going to get tired of it. No one's going to care. And it is the exact opposite of that. I feel like we just keep getting so lucky.
Yeah.
To have all of you guys, amazing people, join us every single Monday and all that stuff. So we want to celebrate with you. And so we're going to do a live on our YouTube that we've been talking about. So that's on Wednesday, the 29th at 8:00 Eastern time. Come hang out with us.
Yes.
Do it. Do it.
And we'll do a giveaway too for people who come and watch us and, not necessarily interact, but you can interact with us because we'll have a chat feature, I believe. And so whoever shows up, we will write your names down and draw a name for some merch.
Yeah. We're not sure what we're going to give away yet, but we'll give something away fun or a couple somethings. We'll see. Also, we will we're going to talk some crime. And we're going to tell y'all stories and tell each other stories just like we normally do. And we will probably take some time either at the beginning or the end to take some questions. And so if you guys have a question for us, you can type it in the chat feature and we will do our best to get to as many of them as we can. That'll be cool. We'll shout you out. So
just bear with us because it will be the first time that we're doing this. So it might be a
Yeah.
lot for us to like coordinate, like telling our story and paying attention to the chat feature and this. And that.
That's true. Yeah. We'll be all right. Maybe we need like a wingman or something.
I know. Well, I intended
to have wingmans that night either.
But I intended to have one because I asked my husband to do it, but then now we've got a baseball game scheduled. So
yeah. Right. We'll figure it out. It's going to be fine. So come join us for that. And what else? Oh, we have a Patreon that we want to thank, Amanda S. Thank you so much for joining our little closet over there. Welcome in. We appreciate all of you guys a lot. We have fun over there.
Welcome, Amanda.
Welcome, Amanda. Thank you guys. And that's all I have.
I think that's all I have.
I'm always doing the business. Oh, no. Also, big week. This weekend, my girl are hanging out for her birthday. Christy's going to be 45, and we're doing a girls' trip there's 5 of us.
Mm-hmm.
And we're staying in a condo, and we are doing an escape room.
Yay!
Which will
ninja
be
one.
Ninja something's escape room. And we're pretty excited about it. And maybe we'll share after the fact where we were. But we're super excited. It's going to be fun. I can't wait to tell you.
Ninjas are real.
Yeah. I'm really excited about that escape room. I think it's just going to be over the top ridiculous. And it'll be interesting. This group too. So like, we know we get along with like, we take a girls trip, me, Christy, and our friend Kelly anyway, regularly. And so that's fun. But like the dynamic of this group, I think is going to be awesome. Like to see us all work together or not work together.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to get mad.
No, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. We'll figure it out. It's going to be super fun. We're going to do some dinners. It's going to be fun. Play some pickleball, right? We're playing pickleball.
Yes, for sure. But I'm going to warn you. I did an escape room for the first time with my middle guy and my little guy.
Well, that's your first problem with that.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying, like, literally my youngest left and was like, I didn't get to do anything because you insisted on, like, you were like, no, I'm going to open the lock. Yeah. I didn't even give him a dang key to open anything because I was like, no, we have to do this fast. You're not going to get it in there.
Okay. So we have a micromanager. Mm-hmm. We've got, all right. So there's your role. We'll all find a role. It's going to work out. I like them. I do get annoyed. Not at everyone else, but if I can't personally figure out the clue, I'm like, what is wrong with me? There's an answer and other people get it and I'm not. What is wrong with me? Yeah. Like, I get very self-frustrated.
Yeah, it was the same. And they like have it posted on there, like who did it the fastest so far or whatever. Like, well, it wasn't the one that I did. And I'm like, how did they do this in 32 minutes? I was like, they've done this before. I came back and did it really quickly. Like that. Yeah. No, it should be like based on your first time in that room.
Agreed. Yeah. I can't be setting world records for repeats.
Yeah.
It's going to be good. We'll probably, maybe we'll go live. I don't know. Post picture, something. We always say that. At least TikTok. We'll do some TikToks. Let's commit to TikToks.
Okay.
One TikTok. Okay.
All right. Well, if that's it, I think we've got a crime. Well, I've got a crime.
Okay, good. I will have it. Thank you.
Okay, here we go. So, for this case, who was recommended by our friend Kelsey over on Instagram.
Kelsey, thank you very much.
Yes, thanks for suggesting this. It was actually kind of interesting to look at. Well, they all are. I don't know why I'm saying that as if this is like, oh, great, finally someone delivered an interesting case. Yeah. All right, but anyways, we are going to go to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania for this one. As you so found out when I had to subscribe to a newspaper subscription, and you were like, is that real?
Oh, yeah, because it came through our email. And you said it's for a case. And I was like, Philly, huh?
Yeah.
Philly Times.
Yes. Yeah. What is it? The Philly Inquirer or whatever it was. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Okay, so we're going to Philadelphia, specifically to this like small town, I think, within the Philadelphia limits called Fox Chase.
Okay.
Small town feel to the neighborhood, but also apparently has like a higher ranked cancer hospital. This was like also something that I does not have any bearing on the case, but I was just looking up what this area was like.
Oh, samesies. I do this regularly.
No bearing, but I saw it. I mean, it's ranked 19th in the US, so it's not like super high, but still kind of a big deal. They have researchers there that have won Nobel Prizes for the research and whatnot. So it seemed like it was kind of a big deal for a small little area. So anyway, it's an older case. So we're going all the way back to the 1950s.
Okay. Like the swingers, and is that the 50s?
I don't know. I feel like that's more 20s, but I could be wrong.
Oh, you're totally right. Where am I?
I don't
The 50s was like Leave It to Beaver.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's my parents' time. That's all I know.
Okay.
So we are going to be honing in on the few days that are surrounding February 25th, 1957 specifically.
Okay.
A college student had been driving down the road when he saw a rabbit run into some underbrush. And he knew this area well and knew that there were some animal traps around. So he kind of was like hoping that it seems like such a nice thing to do. Like, oh, look, a rabbit went there. Oh, I hope it didn't get caught in a trap. Let me check.
I thought you were going to say that he knew there were animal traps and he wanted the rabbit and was like, ooh, maybe it got caught in the trap. Oh, we're two different people. I was thinking he was being nice, and I was thinking he wanted the animal.
Yeah, exactly. Because I actually have no idea why he actually pulled over to check on this rabbit, but I was just assuming he was a nice person. Anyway, okay. Yeah. Maybe not. Okay, so anyway, he just steps away from where he sees this rabbit go in, and he discovered this box with a body in it. Like a small body.
Okay.
Some reports say that he didn't really want to deal with police for some reason or another, which maybe makes me think maybe he isn't a nice person.
He was trying to take that rabbit.
Yeah. So he didn't call it in until the next, he hesitated. He was like, oh, I don't. Then he kind of was like, no, I should probably report
he opened the box?
Well,
it saw a body in it, and
I think it was kind of open. The way I saw the pictures, it looked like there was a side that wasn't closed, so you could kind of see in it, and you could see that there was a body wrapped up in there.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine coming up on something like that and then not calling police?
Right. Because I really don't think that you would have opened the box. Like, I probably would have just seen like a box and been like, oh, someone.
Oh no, I would have opened the box.
It. I mean, maybe now I would, but I feel like in the past I would have been like, it's just a box. So anyway, then other reports say that someone else discovered the body on the 25th, and it was a young man who had those traps. They were muskrat traps, and they were his traps, but they were, I think, maybe illegal, and he knew the police would confiscate them. So he was like, I'm not calling this in because I don't want the police like poking around my muskrat.
Who cares about your traps? There's a body.
Or pick up your dang traps, keep them home for a few days, call in the body, get it out of there, and put your traps back out. Like, I don't know. I don't know how big muskrat traps are. I did not research that to know if it was easy enough to just pick them all up and bring them home. But anyway, I don't even know what a muskrat is.
It's like a otter or something similar to it, kind of, right? I don't know.
I have no clue. This doesn't matter. Anyway, so he doesn't. Two people don't report this right away. I don't even know how they really found out that this other person knew, except maybe he came forward and was like, oh yeah, I saw it too. I have no idea. But anyway, police discover this body, and it's inside a box, and it's a box that a bassinet would have come in from J.C. Penney's specifically.
Oh, like a cardboard box.
Yes, it's a cardboard.
Oh, I'm thinking like a wooden box. Oh.
No.
What is a body doing in there?
Well, that's
it's
the
gotta
question.
Be a little body.
It is a little body. It's a small body, all bruised up, naked, and wrapped in a plaid blanket. His hair looked like it had been recently cut, and not cut well, like kind of haphazardly, like buzzed, but like very unevenly and whatever. And they say that cut recently because it says that there was still like clumps of hair, like kind of stuck to the body. So they even thought that maybe this person had cut their hair after the boy had died. There were signs of malnourishment, and he had some surgical scars on his legs and a scar, like an L-shaped scar under his chin. I mean, maybe he had like hit it at some point and had like stitches. I don't know. Did they do stitches back then? I have no idea.
Yes. 50s? Are you okay?
I'm not. So they collected the fingerprints of the little boy, and they were eager and confident that they were going to figure out who he was.
How little? Like a baby?
Yes, it is estimated. I was just about to say, the autopsy report showed that cause of death was blunt force trauma, but he had so many other bruises all over his body that he was like severely beaten before he had died. And they also determined that he's between 4 and 6 years old.
Oh, that's so little. Oh my gosh. Yes. He was being totally abused and neglected and malnourished.
Yes. Yeah. I think they said how much he weighed too, or estimated, but I can't remember, but it was small for, I think like 30 something pounds maybe. There were no missing children at this time, and no one had called anything in that seemed to be linked to this child. So they were just kind of like at a loss right from the beginning. Like, who could this be? Because you'd think if a 4 or 6 year old went missing, someone's going to say something.
Right. Well, you would also think if you found a body in a box, you would say something.
Yes.
If you see something, say something. We say this all the time.
To people that said nothing until later. So when police search the area, they find a men's blue corduroy cap, a child's scarf, and a white handkerchief with the letter G, like embroidered or whatever, in the corner.
Okay.
They put all of this out publicly immediately because they want to identify who this little boy is and find out what happened to him, but no one comes forward at all. They follow tons of leads, but most of them turn out to be dead ends, and they just don't fit this crime, like whatever they called in or something. And the items found at the scene don't turn up any clues for them either. And this is the 50s, so clearly they're not getting like DNA off of it and all that kind of stuff. So the Philadelphia Inquirer printed 400,000 flyers with a picture of the boy. Well, the likeness of him. It wasn't really These flyers were posted all around town and all the surrounding areas, and it was also put in every gas bill that went out in the Philadelphia area.
Wow.
Yeah, people who have been like interviewed more recently remember like those things coming in the mail and it being like part of it.
It's like the milk cartons. Remember that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Huh. Have you seen me?
Yes. Man, those were sad to read during breakfast.
I know. I would always read that or my Cheerios box. I much prefer the Cheerios box.
I was into those even then. The milk carton.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So unfortunately, even this turns up nothing. No answers for them to have. Like, it's like, what the heck? This kid is just in a box and nobody is calling anything in. No one's claiming to know who he was. Nothing. Police are getting nothing. So for decades.
Oh, no.
Decades. This just kind of goes cold. He remains unidentified. Justice is not served to the individual who is treated poorly. And the case gets handed off over those decades to multiple investigators throughout the years. And it kind of becomes, this case becomes one that is tied to this town forever. Like everyone knows the story. They bury him in Ivy Hill Cemetery. They give him a headstone that reads, Heavenly Father, bless this unknown boy.
Oh, yes. Bless him.
Yes. And every year they have services on the anniversary of the day he was found. Like,
oh gosh.
So it's like everyone in this town comes alongside this boy who nobody knows who it is. This town loved him and wanted him to rest peacefully, which leads me to ask, why didn't whoever his parents were love him enough to like call him and claim him? It just doesn't make any sense. Or somebody love him enough to claim him.
Right.
So in 1998, investigators who are on this case at the time, so it's like it had gotten handed off, but somebody always worked it to some degree. It was probably not a priority, but it was like, oh, slow day today, Joe. Let's work on the unknown boy case, or like.
Right.
So
It's probably one of those ones where you'll hear investigators say, like, I always had their picture hanging by my desk so that I would like always refer back to that one case I didn't solve or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. They wanted to solve this, and it was like all the people after decades and decades still wanted to do this. So the investigators are working on it now back in 1998, exhume his body because DNA has started.
Oh my gosh.
To come
Dude,
into
the
play.
DNA of it all. It's so exciting.
I know. So they want to collect some from him, and they do so. They get some from like one of his teeth or something like that. However, again, nothing really comes of this case because it's not like then it was more like DNA for like suspects, I think, as opposed to like identifying someone, because like now we identify people because of DNA. But back then you didn't do it. You were just collecting it to like have and put in a system and hopefully something happens. But it's his DNA. So he's not going to be a suspect. You know what I'm saying?
Right. He wouldn't be in the system for any reason whatsoever.
Right. Okay. So again, just amazes me that they're just continuing to work on this case. Again, though, and on April 24th, 2019, the body is exhumed again.
Okay. All right.
They want to extract more DNA because now, in 2019, we have genealogists who track
yeah, we do.
Yeah, they track people's lineage. So this time, though, the DNA was in really rough shape because of how long it had been since he had died and whatnot. And it took them 2.5 years to get the DNA in good enough shape to actually use it, which I had no idea that they had to like fix DNA. Like I just thought you get
piece it together or something, or like chromosomally.
Yes. I have no clue what it is that they actually do, but the fact that it's like DNA can be in bad shape and they have to fix it to be usable, like to me, it's just like,
can fix it. Whew,
right.
Look at us.
I know. Exactly. Okay. So several theories had taken hold over the years, two of which were pretty big ones. So I'm going to just kind of like give you a little snippet of them.
Okay.
There was a foster home that was about 1.5 miles away from where the boy was found. And in the 1960s, a psychic led an employee of the medical examiner's office who kind of like had this fascination with this case and was just like wanting to figure things out. So he just followed it really closely. And he contacted this psychic for some reason. But she led him to this house of the foster home that was 1.5 miles away.
Okay.
The employee goes there and he goes to an estate sale that they're having, where he then finds a bassinet that matches the one that was sold at JCPenney at the time that this box was found.
It's an old freaking bassinet.
Right? I know, because we're in this was in the 1960s. So this was really soon after he was found that this guy went to the psychic. So then he also found blankets on a clothesline there that matched the ones that the boy was wrapped in. So we were like,
yeah,
me and you. We were all like, whoa, this is crazy.
Boom. That's what we were like.
Yeah. So it started to be thought that Joseph, this is the name of the boy, by the way. We do find out.
Oh my gosh. Spoiler.
I know. I should have waited, but I had his name in here because I'm like typing things up and not realizing.
Right.
Anyway. Okay. So that he was born to the stepdaughter of the man who ran the foster home, and that they disposed of the body so she would not be known as an unwed mother. So
but when he was 4 or 6 years old, they decided to do that?
Well, I guess they were also thinking that maybe he was like one of the foster kids. Like they said he was one of the foster kids, but then they started, I don't know, maybe getting nervous. But yeah, that was kind of the thing that was confusing, that they waited that long to get rid of him. So anyway,
that's terrible. My gosh.
Well, so police were able to account for all of the foster kids that were living in the home at the time that were I guess registered or whatever. And an investigation also confirmed that this family could not have been involved. I don't know how they confirmed it, but they said they could not have been involved in doing something like that. So it ruled them out.
Okay.
Another theory was this woman who came to police in 2002. Her name was Martha, and she told police that her parents had bought him from his parents in 1954.
Bought him?
Bought him.
All right. I don't think okay.
No, we don't buy children, but there was a time when people did buy children in the black market. Like, it was a thing, which is why we made adoption like legal process and whatnot.
Okay.
So she says in 1954, her parents bought him from his parents and that they physically, sexually, and psychologically abused him until he died years later. So he was like a baby when they took him. I have no idea. So she says that on the night that he died, he had eaten some beans and threw them up. And so he was beaten for throwing up. And then they put him in the bathtub to wash him off because he had beans all over him. And then after the bath, he died. And so then they hid his body. The one thing that investigators considered with this theory is that when she mentioned the beans and the bath, she had linked to some information that they had not told people, which was during the autopsy, there were beans in this child's stomach. And he kind of had the pruny type fingers after you'd take a bath if you were in water for a little bit.
Oh, wow.
They hadn't told anybody that. So they were like, well, that's weird that she would say something like that. However, Martha has a history of mental illness and they were just not sure that they could trust her story. And they even spoke with neighbors that lived near her at the time. And they were like, we never saw a little boy. If they had a little boy for 4 years, we would have known. But we didn't see anybody. So that one kind of I don't know that it was officially totally ruled out to not be possible.
Right.
They were like, we don't think this is possible. So anyway, it's still very interesting to me though.
It is.
So then here's where we enter, since I already spoiled it. Misty Gillis, she gets put on the case. Do you know who she is?
Misty Gillis, no. I mean, I know her name. I know who she is, right? Okay.
You do. She's a forensic genealogy. And as I wrote in here, if her name sounds familiar, it's because she was the one who identified baby Holly from that podcast you suggested.
Oh.
Yes.
That's a good podcast. What was it called? What About Holly?
Mm-hmm. What About Holly?
Yeah.
Yep. So she's from that. So, when they finally had usable DNA, they uploaded it to GEDmatch and hoped they would find a match. And they hoped that someone from his family who was curious about their family tree had uploaded their DNA into one of the many systems that is out there.
Mm-hmm.
And they get a match.
Yeah, they do.
Yes. So they can determine that there are multiple third and fourth cousins on the maternal side.
Okay.
Whose DNA were in the system.
Okay.
That's how they can break it down. They break it down to knowing it's
oh yeah,
mom's side. Here you go.
Mm-hmm.
So she then spent over 2 months building a family tree because that's what she does. She takes these DNA things and starts looking people up, putting them in the family tree spots, blah, blah, blah. She takes a couple of months to do that. And who's married to who had what kids. And she finally gets to a point where she thinks she has identified this child's mother. So she then requests vital records for birth certificates of the children who were born to this woman. Mm-hmm. And in October of 2021,
wow,
they find one with the boy who was born on January 13th, 1953, whose name was Joseph Augustus Zarelli.
Yes. Oh, the boy in the box.
The boy in the box. So... and which would have made him just 4 years old. Literally just turned 4 years old the month before he was found.
Right. Oh my gosh. Sweet boy.
Yes. Yes.
Justice for Joseph?
Well,
no.
We have justice that we know who Joseph is in that sense, but I'm sorry to say we're not going to have any other justice, I don't think.
Oh.
So on his birth certificate, there is a father listed.
Mm-hmm.
So now Misty needs to then build the paternal family tree so that because she needs DNA to prove that that person who's listed is
The
patroller.
dad,
Because, I mean,
right.
you could put anybody's name. Like, you can be like, yep, it was Joe who was the dad when you're in the
Mm-hmm.
hospital.
But doesn't the dad have to sign the birth certificate in order for it to be put on there? Oh, I thought they did.
Well, I don't know.
Now they do. Like Wes had to confirm that he was in fact the father of my children.
Right. So I don't know. I don't know that for back in 1953.
Right. Okay.
So I don't know. But he is on there. So anyway, so she starts building the paternal family tree and reaches out to someone that she thinks could be a match. She doesn't know DNA. She just is like, well, this guy has this person in there, blah, 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 and these people are alive. Let me reach out and say, hey, I think you might be a match for somebody that has been unidentified for however long.
Mm-hmm.
So the man she reaches out to is Justin Thomas, who had in fact done DNA testing with Ancestry.com. And he was under the belief that she had like matched him through that.
Mm-hmm.
However, I don't know if you knew this, but apparently law enforcement is restricted from accessing Ancestry.com's database.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not allowed to. So she did not use Ancestry.com. She just did a whole family tree, thought he could be, and was calling to ask him for DNA.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So anyway, so Justin puts Misty in contact with his mother, who was thought to be Joseph's first cousin. She does give DNA, puts it in the system, and they end up positively identifying both of his mother and father.
Wow. Yeah, first cousin is close.
Yes, yeah. So, but they keep it really quiet. Like they don't release these names for a while, for a little bit, because they also know that Joseph has siblings from different relationships that their parents went on.
Okay, so like half siblings?
Yes. So they don't want to like completely destroy their lives and like all of a sudden just name their parents in public. And then, so I think they want to like kind of like tread lightly until they get to talk to all of these people. So they're like, we've identified them, but we're not telling you who they are.
Okay.
So people have been trying to piece together Joseph's life after this and what could have happened to him. And we still haven't gotten anywhere. But in January of 2023, the names of Joseph's parents are revealed.
Okay.
So just a couple months ago, Joseph's mother is Mary Elizabeth Abel, and she was known as Betsy.
Okay.
She enjoyed ice skating, dancing, and Italian boys, apparently.
All right, Betsy. Good for you.
But anyway, she wore out her Frank Sinatra album appearance because she loved him so much.
Okay.
She graduated from Muriel Dobbins Career and Technical Education High School in 1949, and she got a job as a cashier at a movie theater. At some point, she meets Augustus John Zarelli, known as Gus, who is 5 years older than her and is a concrete stone mason, and his parents were Italian immigrants. So there's an Italian connection.
Right.
And he like apparently lived nearby the area where Betsy lived. Mary Elizabeth, at that time. So it's determined that the two had conceived a child in the spring of 1952. A close member of Betsy's has been interviewed but not named, and she said that she remembers telling Betsy she could have the baby placed for adoption, and she would handle it all for her because she had done it one other time for Betsy in the past.
All right.
So apparently Betsy had also given birth to a little girl in 1950 and placed her for adoption with this same family member's help. So she was like, I'll do it again for you if you want me to, when she found out about the baby, because she's unwed.
Okay, right.
Again, at this time, it's no to be an unwed mother. So this family member offers to do it again. So they also have a theory that Gus had no idea about this pregnancy. Like, yes, they probably had a relationship, but we don't know because he's not alive anymore. But maybe he knew nothing about it and never even saw him. She put his name on the birth certificate, whatever. Because he gets married in 1958, moves away, and goes on to have other children, dies in 2014 at the age of 87. And he's never mentioned any of this. I had another son. And so people think that maybe he just didn't know. Like it happened and she was like, well, we're not going to get married. We just met and I'm just going to do what I did the last time. So It's just
Hmm.
assumed. But again, we don't know. Betsy also eventually goes on to marry the manager of the movie theater she was worked out and goes on to have 4 children with him. She died in 1991 at the age of 59 from lung cancer, likely caused by years of breathing in asbestos, they say.
Oh.
So basically, we have people from the paternal side, Gus's side, saying that it's totally possible he knew nothing about the pregnancy. He does have half brothers and sisters. Joseph has half brothers and sisters out there that are processing all of this and what happened, and I assume working with authorities to try and figure out what happened. Although many of the family members that would be old enough to know about Joseph are now deceased, because clearly these kids were well after him and knew nothing
Sure.
about him.
And it is not possible that they had one mom or mom and dad had him and for 4 years. Like they're saying she never had a baby, like a little boy that she raised that lived with her for 4 years.
So not that I'm hearing this family member who said that she would help her. No one can confirm that an adoption actually happened from that.
Okay. Right.
So,
but that family member does confirm she did not raise this child for 4 years.
That part I don't know. It's not stated that she didn't raise her, but she said, I offered to help her place the baby for adoption.
Okay.
And that's pretty much all that's out there.
Interesting.
Authorities have stated that they have no idea who could have caused his death, and they're not they have an idea of who could have caused his death, but they are not disclosing that at this time because it's an ongoing investigation. So they're not. So I'm assuming that they're just looking into it and they don't want to give something away since it's so old. But they have stated that they may never make an arrest in this case.
Oh, because they're dead.
Most likely, but they're going to try their hardest to like bring justice. But so that's America's Unknown Boy. Isn't that what he's called? America's Unknown Boy, or Boy in the Box.
Yeah. Wow.
Anyway, so what are your thoughts? Because literally, it's just so perplexing because it's not solved, and solving his identity is one thing. It's great. Awesome. We know who he is.
It is. That's good.
He has a brand new headstone. The town got him a new headstone. His name on it, all that. That's definitely a big win. But I want to know what freaking happened to him. And
who did this to him?
And I still feel like maybe Martha could still be a theory. I mean, a good possibility that Martha's family bought him.
Right. Well, yeah.
Because
the whole foster home theory is because you can cover up paperwork. Like they can say, well, we accounted for all the kids that were listed there and they're all still alive. But they just did something with the paperwork.
Right.
To never show that this kid was ever even there. That's a possibility too.
Yes, it is. And this is something really weird that I'm just now remembering, so I'm hoping I'm remembering it right. That the guy who ran the foster home, whose stepdaughter is the one they thought had the baby, it comes out that he actually goes on to marry her.
Oh, great. He
goes on to marry his stepdaughter. So what the heck?
I mean, I don't think, obviously he's not her daughter, he is not her child, but he still could have been connected with the foster home because they found the bassinet box and they found the blanket and all that stuff. So, and we do know that, especially back in the day, I mean, now till too, but like those foster homes, they're not all safe. Like,
no.
Kids are abused and neglected terribly in places like that. So,
and who knows? I mean, his biological mother could have brought him there,
right,
and said, like, I don't want anybody to know it was me. I don't want anybody to know about him. Like, keep this off records or whatever. You know, like, you don't know.
Right. That is so interesting. I think whatever happened to him was a huge tragedy and should never have happened. And good grief.
Yeah.
That's an interesting one. I think we're going to have an update on that one.
I think so too, because clearly, like, they just announced who the parents were in January, and so
Mhm.
they're diving in right now, and they said
Right.
they have an idea. So yeah, I feel like at some point it's going to come out when they can prove it, even though maybe they can't make an arrest.
It's also still possible that it was the parents. If we can't confirm that they did or did not have a child
Mm-hmm.
with them for a short period of time, like they could have done this to him.
Mm-hmm.
And more than, I mean, like parents are most of the time the abusers statistically. So
Right.
I don't know, but I want to know.
Right.
It's very sad.
Yeah. But you would also think, I'm sorry, you just said that. You would also think that if they were abusive, one or the other, then maybe some of their other kids eventually, the ones that they went on to have later on in life, would be abused too. Don't you think?
No, that's true.
But I guess they haven't dove into all
Maybe.
that yet. So
Right. Or maybe it was the mom raised the little boy and the dad really didn't know anything about him, and she later went and married somebody else or had a boyfriend, and the boyfriend abused him and accidentally killed him or something like that.
Right. Yeah, that's true. I hope we know something.
Yeah, I think we will. I think we're going to be doing an update on this one. Stay tuned.
Mm-hmm.
I will be staying tuned. This obviously story was like in the news everywhere in true crime, but I'm going to be honest, I didn't go down that hole. Nope, I didn't. So thank you, Kelsey, for recommending this case for us that is very relevant and ongoing. And we will definitely update you guys if we learn anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Christy, for diving in. The unsolved. Tell you what, we've had a string, right?
Yeah.
Like several. I feel like we did not do unsolved very often. And lately it's been a lot of unsolved. And they get on my nerves.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're very frustrating. So, but glad we could tell their stories. We're definitely honored to do that. We hope you guys enjoyed it. We will be back. Yep. See how upset I am? I gotta go. We will be back next Monday with another crime story for you. So we hope you join us there. If you like what you hear, we have a Patreon that we would love for you to come and hang out with us on that. With YouTube, we have Instagram and Facebook and all the things. And we have merch. I was thinking earlier when I said, if you see something, say something, we should put that on a shirt. To be a good one.
Is that someone's actual like trademarked statement though?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, maybe it is now. TM. I don't know. We'll see. I'll look it up and make sure. I'm not like plagiarizing. But yes, if you see something, say something, people. Especially dead boys in a box.
Yes, please.
All right. Thank you so much. And we'll see you next week. We love you. And always remember, the world is scary. People suck. Hide in your closet.